Data Hound. Got a new member. Good to see ya. Okay, somebody tell me that you can hear me. Can you hear me? Chase, can you hear me? I just did 3 of these and the audio was not. Yes, sir. Okay, great. All right. All you have to do is set it up the wrong way and not use OBS and just go through a browser like a caveman. And then it works. Just ridiculous. Okay, we're here though. E Rose, hello. Thank you for joining. See, I am getting we're getting it. It only costs $1 a month to get in on the members only lives. Just came from this Twitter account. Such a coincidence. Oh, you were watching me on Twitter too? You've been watching me yap over there? Professional yapper. Thank you, E Rose and Data Hound. What was that? An underscore? Yeah. Underscores are really where it's at. Lucas Vander Schilde, son of Enki, can hear me. Do you use StreamYard? I do not have it, and I don't run anything through it. The answer is no. Other people use StreamYard with me. Like today, I spoke to Rich Cooper. We just had a nice chat. It was a very informal conversation. And he just sort of asked me about, how things happened for me and stuff. And he used StreamYard. I also spoke to Adam Lane Smith, and I believe that he used StreamYard. I have the interview with Adam Lane Smith to upload for you, but it is like I think an hour and 45 minutes long, and I'm about to upload a short, like a long short, and then also a video that's an hour and 10 minutes long. So I don't know what order to go in. Birdman says, "Do you feel like you're in an echo chamber?" No. Have you ever been on Twitter? Every time you could say, "I like cake," and someone will tell you to kill yourself. Definitely do not feel like I'm in an echo chamber, Birdman. It's Tuesday in it. I should do the home math girl. It's cheaper every time. I guess I'm making the ring go through her head now. Tuesday in it. I never like made sure that in it meant like it is isn't it, right? It's like is it not? It just is it not? Isn't it in it? Like that's what that means, right? I never made sure that's what that means. It just sounds like it. What about pie? Are you saying you don't like pie? Who are you talking to? Cornite Care Bear member. Thank you for being a member. April Fool's Day stream. Yeah, I'm not doing any jokes. Avocado. A lot of people thought Rich Cooper's April Fool's. Yeah, I know that a lot of people don't respect the kind of like alpha bro thing that he does, but like you can't deny that he makes money and that he has his life going the way that he wants it. And unless he's doing something wrong, like unless he's a criminal or something, I think that a lot of my followers have something to learn from that. I'm not saying every word out of his mouth is gospel, but you got to pay attention to people who are doing something right. Hello, Mr. Playlist Man. You know what's funny is my penmanship is getting better. I'm changing the way that I write letters. I used to do M's like this. I used to go all the way down like that, and it was just chaos. And now I'm like doing a little thing on the top. I'm changing my penmanship at age 40. Rich Cooper is on point, but needs some nature or a Vipassana sanctuary. Yeah, I would like to do one of those too. You guys are using me The emojis now. Got my devil guy. YouTube automatically starting videos for everyone else every time you open the app. Not for me. Would love a retreat. Yeah, I really can't wait to get like a big SUV. I have a small SUV. I've got one of those like those cars that they all look exactly the same, you know, and they're like the rounded in the front, and they've got like a medium amount of clearance, hatchback style, the roof rack. I've got one of those, but I really want like a big monster. I want one of those things that's like a foot and a half off the ground. I really want a Jeep, but everybody tells me do not get a Jeep. There's very few people who recommend the Jeep. I got to learn how to draw cars from the side. This is atrocious. This really is like 5-year-old level. Some things I can draw, cars are not one. I want one of these monsters and I want to go drive it to nowhere. I want to drive it to just like on a road that goes. I want to go get lost in the middle of nowhere. Someone says Jeeps are dangerous and douchey for a dude. Um, I just wish that they were good cars because I like the way that they look. I like the 4Runner, the Toyota 4Runner. They have hybrids. That one is high on my list. The 4Runner hybrid. You get like 22 miles to the gallon with a giant, massive supercar that can tow like 5,000 pounds. Oh, more generous donations from Human Psych Engineering. Thank you. He says, I am looking for a pen with a fine point that doesn't bleed or smudge. I need it for notes that I write in margins of books when I take notes. Don't want felt tip Sharpie. Recommendations. Well, let me think about that. Human Psych Engineering. You want one with a fine point that doesn't bleed or smudge. So this one is they might make this in finer points than this. Can I get my camera to focus, please? Can I hit focus? I gotta make my camera do the correct thing before I finish my sentence because I have mild to moderate autism or something. Where is the focus? I know that you can probably see it, but I'm gonna make this work anyway. There we go. I gotta focus manually because my autofocus is such garbage. I think that this one probably comes in smaller than 5, but I don't know if this is a fine enough point for you. I also have 7s. There's a 7 here. That's a big fat line, and then I have um, the point the 0.38, and this is my favorite one right now because let me just get that. So this was the 5. This was the 7, and the 0.38 is this very fine little line. Now this one is not the least smudgy. This one is the least smudgy. The Sarasa Dry, like they made a pen to be as dry as possible. The worst one is the Pilot G2. Everybody says that this is the best pen, but it really is just the best pen that they have tried. So like if you do that and then do that, it's I don't know if you can see, it's smudgy. But if you do that and do that, then it's really smudgy. Um, this one is the fastest that will not do that. See how fast that was? That was that's why I use them for lives. So if you can find that one in a finer tip, then that would be it. The Sarasa Dry. Um, however, these are darker. So the ink that these are, I think, dye, and these are pigment. and the pigment you can get darker. So I could talk about pens for a long time, but I'm not sure if anybody else loves that question. Ebiosh says, talk about R and K selection. Oh boy, you're gonna get me killed, but okay. So if anybody doesn't know about R and K selection, it's like a biology thing. It is from study of reproduction. And where's my pen? There it is. The Sarasadrai. Basically, and I can never remember which one is which. R is, I think K is like elephants. So an elephant uh, takes 2 years to reproduce, right? Tusk. And they spend a lot of time with their offspring, right? And this is K, I think. Don't take my word for it. I always get the R and K mixed up, or I always forget which one is which. So the elephant is enormous, and it takes a long time to have a child. And then when it has the child, it spends a lot of time with it, right? So they raise their children like us. The R selection would be like salmon. Which I don't know what a salmon looks like. I'm just going to draw a random fish. And I think that it's got like one of those spines, right? And the salmon, what it will do is just like swim back to where it was born and just spray eggs everywhere. And it just leaves like 1,000 of them. And then it goes and wanders off and dies. And it takes a very short amount of time on creating offspring, and then it gives zero investment. Zero investment. The elephant will have a little. I don't want to draw a whole extra elephant, so I'll just this is just E for baby elephant. So the more that you take time to gestate an offspring, and the more resources you spend on them, the more you are K selected, and the more that you just propagate, the more you are R selected. And this has um, implications for humans. Like higher quality societies come from people who use more case selected strategies because you're basically giving your children education and care and teaching them. And what we are doing right now, when I talk about the maturity crisis, when I talk about basically everything that I talk about, is we're moving in this direction. We're spending less time on making sure that the kids come out right, and we're giving them this cheap treatment, and then they don't grow up, and and we might um evolve in the wrong way. Say hey kid says, just learned about your channel listening to your interview with entrepreneurs in cars. That has to be Rich Cooper. um I guess I didn't look at the name of his show. But he is an entrepreneur, and I know that he likes cars. We had a little bit of car talk today, and yeah, we basically like I could never if I had Jeff Bezos money, I could never get a Lamborghini because I would not want to use it. I would just feel like it was a waste. It would just be sitting in my garage, and I really would rather look at a tree than drive a fast car. I drove a Tesla Model S, and I was bored to death after like 10 minutes. It was like vroom, oh, vroom, okay. You want a hamburger? And that was about it. And then we went to get hamburgers. That was me and that girl I was dating a year ago. Just finish the bones on the skull and crossbones here. Salmon scales can get relatively detailed. Avocado Atrocity says traditions die hard. See, Avocado Atrocity has been bugging me to create memberships for like a year. And every time that I don't do it, he gives me $5 and he says, "Here's my membership." And now I have memberships, and I believe he's a member. And then he's just like, "Here's $5 again." My fans like me. I so far, I don't think that I have run into one person who doesn't like me and I feel bad about it. So far, everybody who has said that they don't like me, I'm just like, great. So that part of life is going well. It's a little avocado stem. Rumpelkilskin. The "Do you know where we parked" is pretty witty. Oh, yeah, that was during the, excuse me, hang on. That was during the members only live. Um, I can get this thing out. We went over a story where, was I drawing those girls because they were like that? Yes, that was this story. Um, Me and some friends were walking through the woods, and some very attractive women were coming the other way. And they didn't know what to say or talk to them. And I said, "Excuse me, do you know where we parked our car?" And they all laughed, and we had a good, fun time. Um, so Rumpelkilskin says, "Do you know where I parked?" Was witty. Yes, I'm witty. I'm well liked by people, but I've thought about taking an improv class to improve social skills. I think it might be cringe. What's your opinion? Improv is so cringe, but it might also improve your social skills. I have gone to one improv class, just one. I hated it. I also was once invited to see improv from a girl that was maybe halfway interested in me, and it was so awful that me and the person I went with left like a couple minutes in. Um, I brought someone else, like, there was one girl who invited me to it, but it was not overtly like, "Because I like you." It was just like, "If you're interested in improv." And then there was another girl I was with, and I wasn't, like, with her either. It was just like I brought one girl who might like me to see another girl who might like me. And the one I was in the audience with, like, about 5 minutes in, she just leaned over to me and said, "I want to go." And I knew that that was not going to be very much fun to tell her we had to stay. So, like, yeah, improv is cringe because most people are terrible at it. And even when they're good at it, it's not that funny. Like, the best improv that's ever been done was, I think, was Whose Line Is It Anyway? And what's the other one? The Upright Citizens Brigade. And even that is just, it's not as funny as like a good comedy show or a stand up or but that's not the point. The point is that you yes and you learn to do it live. You learn to do it in the moment. So when something is happening, you learn to, like, one of the worst things that you can do if you're trying to learn people more is to just be mad at them and contradict them and go, "No, you're wrong, and the president should be who I think it should be, and you're no, 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 no." Um, because nobody cares how right you think you are. What they care about is how you make them feel. And the yes and rule is a really good way to make people feel heard and appreciated. And, if you do that, then they like you. So, like, totally go for social skills, but don't go because you want to be an improv artist. It's like, yeah. Let's see. Did we get a new member? Brian Nash. Thank you for subscribing. We had about a 45-minute or a 50-minute members only live earlier. And as I get more members, we're going to do um, almost all the lives for members only because everyone else hates them. Like, every time I do a public live, I lose 20 subscribers, which is annoying, but I get it. That's not what they come to see me for. Colin Mockery is hilarious. Yeah. Second City. I've heard of that. Improv is a do or die. Let's see. Oh, I got a bunch of them. Okay, I did the pen. I did the pen one. I hope that that helped. These were, by the way, human psych engineering. If you want these dark ones, they're not the least smudgy. they're still pretty smudgy, but they are much blacker. Those are the Uniball 1. Can't. So frustrating. I gotta do this manually. Do I have autofocus? Okay, there you go. Uniball 1. And now if I autofocus again, it'll never go back to normal. Let's see how long autofocus works today before I go back to manual, like a absolute. So John Terry says thoughts on ibogaine therapy. Never heard of it. I suppose I could Google it real quick. Ibogaine. Iboga. Isn't that like a tribe in Africa? Is that where it comes from? Iboga. Um, Ibogaine therapy. Ibogaine for opioid dependence. Oh, interesting. It's a treatment that's gained attention for its potential in treating various forms of addiction. I don't know, man. If it works, then like totally. It's known for its psychedelic and dissociative properties, which can induce a dreamlike state. That sounds fun. I want some ibogaine. Ibogaine. Um, yeah, I don't have any thoughts on it, man. If it works, then go for it. But I'm not like I can't recommend it because I don't never heard of it before. Nick B says, "Have you ever read Power versus Force by David Hawkins?" No, never heard of it. Great book for anyone into psychology, spirituality, integrity. Okay, Power versus Force. That's interesting. That's an interesting distinction, especially in a spiritual context, because power is, yeah, it's distinct, it's different from force in physics. Jet, jet, stow, anywhere. Okay. Oh, jets to anywhere. All right, gotcha. Sorry, I've got a bright light in my eyes. What, if any, advice would you give to a virgin in his 40s? Stop worrying about it. That's the first piece of advice. I thought it would be okay. I thought I would be okay with it, but people unfortunately can pick up on it. Yeah, it's like they know and it's starting to affect my career. Well, how does it affect your career? Um, See, if this was a coaching session, which unfortunately we cannot do right now, but if this was a coaching session, I would ask you right now, how do you know they're picking up on it? What do they say? What do they do? What are they telling you? What does their behavior look like? How does it make you feel? What do you want to do when you see it? I would walk you through all of that and I would figure out exactly what it is that you need to hear to unlock the part of you that no longer broadcasts this. Because I'm guessing that the reason that you are saying everybody can tell is you probably are weird around women. It's probably that there are women in your workplace and they probably say or do things and you respond in a way that it's like, "Oh, does this has this guy not ever dated or ever anything?" That would be my first guess. And I would very likely be able to flip that switch for you, but unfortunately with just that information, I can't go that much farther than that. Um, if people can pick up on it, you have to know what they're responding to, and you have to know what you're feeling when you are broadcasting that. So whatever it is that you're doing, you have to go, well, what is it in here in my brain that's making me do that? And then you have to simulate something else. You have to deliberately go, well, I don't need to behave that way. That was just unconscious. And now that I'm conscious of it, I can think of something else and have a different opinion of myself and a different opinion of women. And, I don't know, but without, further information. I always do 3 vertebra. This is not at all what vertebra look like either. It looks like a Tootsie Roll. Um, so yeah, I would be able to help if I had more information. Lord Joshua Zanetta got membership. Thank you. I think we had how many people did we have in the other one? Was it like 50? good number of members. I wonder how many members I have. I have not been paying attention. Been so busy. I think that's all the paid ones. I could talk about pens more. Human psych engineering's thing is still up there. Could color for you. Brian Nash, Joshua Zanetta. Live chat. What's going on in the live chat? Yun says, met someone recently and interested in her. We are in the same community church. Have mutual friends. I could ask for wingman. Are there more ways to approach this with higher success? We are Korean American. Yeah, if you're in the same community, knowing someone who knows her is the most effective way to do that. That's like been a mainstay for a long time. That's like, could you pass her a note for me? What this like what kids do. It's the easiest, lowest risk way. Can you ask her for me? And then you go, back and forth through another person, and then if it's a yes, then you can approach. But your question was, are there more ways to approach this with higher success? Yeah, get noticed. That's more successful. If you are doing something in the community, like if she really values the community and she's not just showing up because she has to, and you do something in the community that makes her go, that guy is doing something valuable and impressive that most men cannot do. And I really, really like it. Like one time I just made like a olive oil dip for a girl and she liked food. Uh, and she was just very impressed by that. It's just like it has to be something she likes. So if you're in this community, you want her to basically make this face at you being, I'll just show you being strong, whatever it is that you do. Um, but yeah, like if you don't know her and you're not close with her, you're not on a first name basis, you're just in the same community, I would definitely say if you're not doing anything that is impressing her enough that she's giving you that look and noticing you, then I would say going through friends. See if she's noticed you, see if she knows who you are, how she feels, stuff like that. And also, do your research so that you know what would make her do this. Ugh, I gotta scribble this out. Going to that improv show was such an uncomfortable memory. Like I met this girl at a party and I was halfway interested in her, and then I go to this place and we just ran out. I was like, I knew improv was bad. I should have either gone alone or I was like, I had to pick one girl to upset. And so I picked the one I was not in the car with. Pen appreciation stream, we already did that. You can just watch this one from 10 minutes ago, Sequoia. We already did all the pens. You want me to talk about just nothing but pens? For how long? How long do you want to do pens? I have this Thule art. I got a pencil. I have this is my pointer. This has got the metal. Um, I've got all these. I got the pilots, all the pilots. Is that enough pen appreciation? Is that you happy? Got the pens. This is the best one for lives because it dries. This is the most fun one to write with because it's the smoothest. The juice. It's the smoothest. It's even smoother than a G2, but it doesn't dry quite as fast. but these are my favorite ones because they make the darkest black lines for my drawings. Okay, pen appreciation over, I guess. Um, have casual conversation with them, Trey says to Yun. Yes, that works if you do it right. Like, don't force it. I'm remembering what church was like, and I don't know how well you know this girl. So, like, if you're, I don't know what your church is like. Every church I go to, they just have donuts afterwards in the basement or something like that to have community time. And if you just, what was it? This drawing here, if you just go up to her and say, "I will talk to you now," then that's difficult. But if there's like a good reason for it, if you do it smoothly, I can it's hard to estimate what your skill level is with women. Um, just from the comment. Okay. Agrolith says, "Late join, what happened to your hand?" I'm assuming that you're talking about this. Is that it? It's really very small. I burned it on the um, oven making bread. I was going to grab the bread and the rack burned me, and that was like a week and a half ago. It's very tiny. It's not a big deal. Um, Thank you for your concern. Coloring in these boots now. I don't know why. Some black boot color. It's interesting how the mind works. I started coloring boots, and it was like maybe a 5-step process to just being mad at libtards again. I had 5 little things go through my head really, really quick, and I was like, "Boots remind me of this, remind me of that, remind me of," and I hate everyone who lives in a city. That was really fast. Um, it was funny. This is a slower stream. That's all right. We can have slow streams sometimes. Maybe it's because I did it late. Home F didn't even flinch. At what? Your skill with women is pretty easy to judge. Do women ever approach you? If so, you're top 20. Well, yeah. Um, Not always a good thing. Had crazies approach me, but the crazies are fun, and you get to learn from them. If you have like a short experience with one of those kind of borderliney girls, it teaches you a lot about women because they're just the bad things about women are so strong in them that it's like a training at high altitude or high gravity or something. It's higher resistance, so you get to deal with more womanness. It's like what is it? Borderline is like autism. It's like if this is male mindedness, right, and this is female mindedness, and most people are like women would probably be here and men would probably be here, and there's some overlap, like there's some feminine men and some masculine women in the middle, but not very many. um, the what we call autism is just like extremely male minded, and what we call borderline is just extremely female minded. So if you ever have any length of experience with one of them, it's a intense training. Kogan says, "In my life, it's almost impossible to get with one girl, but once I do, I'm quickly with all her friends. What are they telling each other about me? Do you mean hook up with them? They're competing for dominance. It's not about you necessarily, although it could be. I've had that happen to me. I was talking to 2 different girls on OkCupid back when that was the big platform, and, they were both saying like, "Yeah, maybe we'll hang out, maybe." And then one of them came over, uh, you know, um, just, came to my place, and then she left, and then the other one got in touch with me and said, "Yeah, I hear that you met my friend." I was like, "Oh, do you know her?" And she said, "Yeah, she recommended you." And I was like, "Jesus Christ. We live in hell." I thought that she was gonna say, "How dare you talk to both of us at the same time?" But instead she said, "You come highly recommended." I was like, "All right." Um, so that could be it. But more likely it's just that when one girl has a thing, the other girls want that thing. I wonder if I still have my drawing of that. I don't know where I put it. Well, I'm not gonna find it today. A lot of my drawings are just in a disaster. Like I took them all out to cut them up and get rid of the ones I'm not going to use and then get rid of all the extra space so that I can only have like look how good my binder is looking. Hang on. Let me go get it. There's the charts that see, I'm just like filling up all the space on the page and coloring in the old ones. Um I haven't done the video for this one yet so you guys get a sneak peek, but that's the way that I'm trying to communicate this is let me get the autofocus off. The way that I'm trying to communicate this is that people try to say that Hibistophilia is that normal women are just all sweet in love, and Hibistophilia is like, oh, she has sex cancer, right? But really, normal women just have a little bit of this, and Hibistophiliacs just have a lot. Um, this is a point that I've been trying to get across for a very long time. And some people get really mad at it. Like I say, well, every girl wants some of this. And people will go, no, you're encouraging violence. And it's like, no, it's just that this is in the hearts of women. It might be more or less, but it's in there. Um, Groundman says, why don't liberals care that soon European nations, cultures, identities, and languages will cease to exist? I think that some of them do care and they're lying. And I think that some of them do not care because they just really genuinely believe that it doesn't matter and that people are interchangeable. I think that they think that all the other kinds of people can just have like Americanness installed on them. Like you can just put like a flag. You can just put it in there. And they don't think that genetics have anything to do with it. In fact, somebody the other day very angrily told me that somebody believes that that culture is genetic, and they were like, "This person is a monster." They said culture was genetic, and it's like, well, where do you think? Where does culture come from? It comes from the bodies of people who create culture. It's not magic. It doesn't come from aliens. It comes from the brains and bodies of the people who create it. And so people with different bodies will have different ways of creating it. So like it's like math. It's basic. Um, but liberals don't believe that. They think that your body is an empty box. They think it's a container like demons. Like liberals are they're basically demons. They think that they are empty containers that can be filled with whatever they want, just like a demon. That's a good connection. Humans are empty vessels that you can put whatever you want in them. Like maybe they're just describing themselves because they don't have souls. Ground Man has a lot of questions. Best way to get good at doing things you hate is force yourself. Um, there are two things about doing things you hate. Number one is that I drew a picture of this too, because that's what I do. I draw pictures. Number one is there is a part of the brain that I refer to as the better getter because it rhymes. I believe it's called the anterior cingulate cortex, and I put that in a video, but then I just called it the better getter. And like if you're not trying, then it stays small and unused. But if you are trying, then it actually will get stronger and grow. I think it physically grows. So this part of the brain does not grow when you do something difficult. It grows when you do something that you don't want to. You have to specifically not want to do it and do it anyway. And then it grows like a muscle. So that's number one way to get good at things that you hate or get way to get good at doing things that you hate. Number two is there's all kinds of tricks that you can do to like I used to hate chores, but now every time I have to do chores, I just kind of remember how girls used to come over and be very impressed with how clean my apartment was. And it's like, oh, yeah, well, I want them to like me. So what if one came over right now? I have to have the place clean and then I'll be appreciated for it. So I get, dopamine from it. Those are the two ways to do it. Sometimes there is nothing but force yourself. Sometimes that's it. Sometimes there is no answer to the question, but do the thing you hate, and then your brain will get better at it. I'm hungry now. I just drew an avocado pit, and I was like, "Oh, I want more." Let me go to the chats. Oh, there's a bunch now. What do woke liberals get out of this ground man again? What do woke liberals get out of lecturing people about microaggressions and stuff like that? Does it make them feel good to piss everyone off? They are being a petty tyrant. I don't know if you've ever heard that phrase. Um, Petty tyrant. So liberals hate themselves. They're miserable people, and they get off on bossing people around. Nietzsche called them tarantulas, which is perfect. He hated them too. Um, you might know them as HOA members, HOA president. You might know them as hall monitors. They are people who they just want to boss you around. They hate themselves. They hate their lives. They can't believe how wretched they are and how unhappy they are and how much their lives are not the way they wanted them to be. And so they attack you and they go, I'm in charge of you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. You have to do what I say. You have to. That's where that comes from. They just want to hurt you. They just want to make you do something that you don't want to do. They get off on that. And it doesn't matter if you did anything wrong. It doesn't in fact, it's better if you didn't do anything wrong. They enjoy causing you pain and suffering and difficulty the more that you don't deserve it because they just want to be in charge. And if there's like a good reason for it, that's why they love criminals so much. So if there's a good reason for them to boss you around, then they don't. And if there's no good reason for them to boss you around, then they do because they just want to feel like God is. Oh, I'm actually in charge here. But yeah, Nietzsche called them tarantulas, and people called them petty tyrants or petite. It looks like I'm calling this guy all these things. Sorry, I'll put a box around you so it doesn't look like I'm calling you a liberal, Joshua. A petite tyrant. They're awful, awful, awful people. Nicolas vote something. I should pop out the chat so I could read everybody's name, especially because these dark red chats I think are the high paid ones. Every time I get $100 chat, it's red, so I don't know what the minimum is. Moderation activity timestamps. Should I pop out chat? Okay. Rearranging my windows. Sorry, hang on. Okay, let's see. Groundman Nicolas Votero. You talked about BPD being extreme female behavior. Yeah, that'd be right there. If I have a BPDX, does that mean I'm in the extreme masculine behavior? No. It's not like the extreme feminine attracts the extreme masculine uh, necessarily. It's just that that's the way she views the world. No, it does not necessarily mean anything about you. It's just that sort of feminine nothing is my fault and you are causing my feelings and that I'm reacting to you. It's you who are creating reality at me. I'm not creating it. It's very extreme with them. It doesn't mean that you are doing it. It just means that she perceives it that way. So, no, completely independent. God, I wish I had a longer answer for you because you gave me a nice big red chat, but no, I don't believe there's any relationship. Well, I don't know of any relationship, and I don't feel like there's any relationship. So that would be the same as not believing it, I guess. Thank you for your question. Etienne Furiman says, "What do you think of Lord Miles?" No idea who that is. I guess I could Google it. Mr. Playlist Man says, "I saw an autistic woman in a reel try to explain why she wanted to do IT with someone she hated when she was in." Would you mean to capitalize IT, or are you just talking about like you're talking about personal stuff, or you're talking about computers? I saw an autistic woman in real try to explain why she wanted to do IT with someone she hated when she was in high school so she could do it without getting attached. I guess you did mean personal stuff. Is this normal girl thinking or just girl autism? This is a good question. I don't think that I'm going to be able to tell you which one it is. I can tell you I've seen it before. It was from, a smart girl. It's from an intelligent uh, young woman who had a lot in common with me. We got along, we communicated really well. But she did the same thing. She came over, and then when it was time to go to bed, we had a short conversation about it. And I said, I would like it if you stayed over. That would be like, I'm not kicking you out. And she thought about it briefly, and she said, I should go. And this was quite a while ago, and I was unfamiliar with this. Like, I've obviously had women leave before, but later I asked her about it, and she would leave because she didn't want to get attached. So I know that some women do that, but I don't think that it's like standard. I don't think it's boilerplate. You know what I mean? I don't think they're all passing notes around about like, here's how to do it without catching feelings. Wouldn't be aware of that if they were, but I've heard of it. I guess I was going to Google Lord Miles, right? People always ask me what I think of like movies and celebrities and stuff. And I never know them because I'm just very detached. Okay, Miles is a war tourist. He's known for being a danger tourist in Afghanistan, being detained. Does that mean he goes to war for fun? I guess so. Let me go to the live chat, see what's up. Give us some hope. Joe says, "Bro, give us some hope." What do you hope for? Like, what do you want? What do you want me to give you hope for? Do you want for like everything to get better in your lifetime? Because you're going to have to do that. It's not going to get better by itself. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to meet people and make it get better. So Lord Miles, I guess he's an internet celebrity that goes to wars for fun, and he got imprisoned by the Taliban. I mean, from what I can see, he looks entertaining. Miles is a well-known MI6 informant, says Rog, which is a cool name. Rog. Um, well, why would he go to Afghanistan if he's an MI6 informant? A life that is better than this. Yeah, you want hope for a life that's better than this? Well, I'm giving you the instructions, guys. You're just making me repeat myself over and over again. I made a whole product for it that teaches you how to find what you want. I'll get it out again. You're making me get out the chart again. I made a whole product and a whole map that teaches you how to know what you want. And then once you know what you want, what do you need in order to get it? Where in your world does it come from? And then how are you going to go about it? Then do it, see what happens, and try again. I gave you a process. I went out step by step. And you're telling me, give you hope for a better life? Like, do you want me to say that angels are going to deliver it? Do you want me to just say that? You want me to go, all of the candy fairies are going to come, just draw like a Hershey's kiss. They're going to come bring you all money, thousands and thousands of dollars. Just draw like Tinkerbell wings, dragonfly. Candy fairies are going to bring it. There's absolutely nothing is going to change if you don't like get skills and power and then use them. Nothing's going to change. Things are unbelievably bad. And if you are sitting at home saying, "Give me hope," the hope that I can give you it's in your ATP, it's in your flesh, it's in your bones, it's in your feet. You got to get up and have some hope that the things you do work. Um, and that's it. That's the only hope there is. Uh, I hope that you're not asking me for the kind of hope like maybe Donald Trump is playing 17D chess. I don't ever have hope in conjunction with politicians. Like before the election, I was on Twitter telling everyone that Donald Trump was 97% as bad as Kamala, but that 3% really, really matters. And then he got in office and he started doing a bunch of stuff that looked good. And now he's just acting like George W. Bush again. And it's just like, it's a politician, man. Like, you got to learn your lesson. I hope that that was enough hope for you. The hope is that your own behavior will change things for you. That's the only reasonable hope. Do I have to tip an angel? He says. I've still got these red comments up. Who was that? BPD? Yeah, I didn't have a super long answer for that one. And then this was about pens, right? Yeah. I got a new member. Breeny162, welcome. All right. Scroll up on the fan funding. Do I have more of them? Oh yeah, there's a few more. Good. What do you think of Lord Miles? That one was done. Mr. Playlist Man, the autistic woman in a reel explaining. Yeah. I mean, the autistic women or the women who say they're autistic, they do behave more like that rather than just like coasting through life. But I don't know if it's necessarily a sign of autism. Like that girl I was describing, I don't know if I would say she was autistic. She didn't get along with me. Um, that was kind of a sad one. That was like one of the ones that I wished would have hung out and didn't. Please draw a picture. What is this? J, just a lowercase j. Please draw a picture and explain why Gen Z is obsessed with phrases like, do you even care eight if I love or die? What? He's saying, do you even care? And then he says the word eight if I love or die. Was that like two ridiculous typos? Or is this just like some permutation of irony? Are they saying, do you even care eight if I love or die? Because I've never heard of that before. And if that is actually what they're saying, I would say that, um, there's humor in getting things wrong on purpose, especially when it is a disguise for something genuine. So if they're feeling disconnected from others and lonely as they, probably are, and they're finding ridiculous ways to pretend that they're not actually asking, like, do you care if I live or die? Does anyone care? Does anyone care if I'm alive? And if they go, do you even care eight if I love or die? Then that is a way of like, um, you know, putting the funny mask over the crying, the string around the head. But also maybe you just made a bunch of typos. So here's this guy saying, "Do you even care eight if I love or die?" Because you can't ask somebody seriously, "Do you care if I live or die?" Because everyone will go, "Ugh, ugh, get away from me." So you have to be jokey about it. I don't know if that's what they're doing though. Brini 62, 162. Okay, it is 8, and I did a member live and then a regular live. So I think that I have done my living for tonight. Live chat, all messages are visible. Do you think red pill backwards says, do you think red pill content getting promoted may actually be a long-term psychological op to get our birth rate up and stay competitive? I don't know. I don't know who is psyoping us anymore. Bill Burr is in here. Awesome. Oh, there is a William Burr. That is a Bill Burr. I can't believe what a fairy he's being lately. He used to make fun of people like him, and now he's doing it, and it's like not for a very good reason. Zoomers age like milk, and most of them will end up in prison. That's pretty funny. I don't know about most of them, but yeah, they're aging really fast because of various reasons. I am aging excellently. I'm 40, and I look younger than a lot of like 26-year-old Zoomers. They've all got their hairs falling out. Poor kids. Bob's your uncle JT became a member. Thank you. GT. Um, what was the last question before that? Zoomers thoughts about the increasing use of AI. Okay, Sequoia Fighter says, what are your thoughts about the increasing use of AI, such as in situations about AI bots of social media, dating apps, and the like? Well, it's obviously very dangerous because you could be talking to an AI at any time now. Who knows what they're going to do? I think that predictions about that are kind of a waste of time because we know what AI can do. It can synthesize quite a lot of information. It can pretend to be human very effectively. Like it passes the Turing test now, which is ridiculous. For a long time, people were saying if a computer can behave like a human, then that means it's conscious and is obviously ridiculous. But obviously, AI existing is it's going to give bad and dumb people a lot of power because now they don't have to be intelligent. You can just say to an AI, "Give me this," and the AI will give it to you, and you'll use it for that, and it'll do it for you. Um, I don't know if it's going to level the playing field because some people are still actually too dumb to prompt an AI properly, but it's giving people a lot more power. Like, it's saving me many, many hours on learning things. It's much easier to learn things now. Instead of Googling it and reading about it and asking people, I just ask Grok and it spits out a very useful answer. And then I get stuff done a lot faster. Maybe I could get an AI assistant so I don't have to hire a human to read my emails. Could you just not respond to anyone who doesn't want to pay me $10,000 for an ad? Thank you. Um, oh, okay, more questions. Do you think women should be equal to men? Says Groundman. There's no such thing as should in that case. There's no such thing as should be equal. You can't make unequal things equal. Do you think fish should be equal to elephants? Well, what does that look like? Like, describe it. Use math to describe it. Do you make them the same weight? Do you make them the same length? Do you give them the same number of dollars? Like, if the fish has the same number of dollars as the elephant, are they equal? What the hell does that mean? Are they equal in what? Wealth and attractiveness and intelligence and power in how much people care about them? Equal in what? Like a man is not equal to a woman. A fish is not an elephant. A man is not a woman. It's just a dumb word to use for what they're talking about. Equality, it doesn't mean anything. Nicolas uh, Votero says, first of all, you said my name correctly. Oh, yeah, I try. First of all, you said my name correctly, so thanks. On the other hand, Sam Vaknim says BPD and NPD attract each other. Yes, BPD and NPD do, not necessarily autism. And ADHD seems like NPD on the surface. Does it? ADHD doesn't look like NPD to me at all. So for anyone who doesn't know what he's talking about, uh, borderline, where did this go? Yeah. So borderline personality disorder and autism are like extreme female and extreme male forms of thinking, where the extreme female is just like nothing is my fault, everything happens to me. When I'm happy, it's because you're good, and when I'm sad, it's because you're bad. Everything is you. Everything is from you, right? And then autism is everything is from me, and I am figuring this out, and I am saying things out loud because that is the way they are, and there's just like no responsiveness. So it's like nothing comes from the world. It's all from me out. Let's use a black pen because I have them. Um, and an earlier question, I think it was Nicolas, who asked uh, whether the two of those things attract each other. Like, if you have a BPD girlfriend, does that mean that you have autism? I said no. On the other hand, narcissistic personality disorder goes with borderline very, very well because the borderline, whether she knows it or not, everything comes from the other. Everything comes from you. It's you, 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 you. And with the narcissist, everything is me, 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 me. So those tend to fit together. The borderline person will say, "You did this, you did this, you did this," and the narcissist will go, "Yes, I do have all that power over you." And they're both playing this little game that they don't know they're playing. Um, and it's very easy to view the narcissist as a manipulator, but they very often don't really know what they're up to either, and they actually think everything is about them. Narcissism is main character syndrome. That's basically what it is. You guys might know it by that name. And and then BPD is princess disease. It's like, if you can't remember borderline personality disorder, just remember bitchy princess disease. So you have the hero and the princess, and they can get up to a lot of trouble together. I notice personally when I am interacting with a girl who is more towards BPD, it makes me feel like I want to be more narcissistic because they will say such glowing things about me. And like, oh, you, and I just want to go. I know, I really do, don't I? It makes me feel like, you know, I don't do it, but I feel it coming. I feel it being drawn out. So yeah, what was the question exactly? Any thoughts on that, or is it too far fetched? No, I think that's straight down the center. I think that's exactly how it works. John M, how does Big Five map on levels? That's a good question. I imagine that higher level people are higher in openness. I imagine it's very difficult to move up the levels if you have low openness. I what else? Conscientiousness, I think would help move up levels. What was it? Ocean. I gotta do it. I gotta get a new paper. I'm always like, I don't want to get a new paper because I feel like I'm wasting it, but it's literally like 5 cents. So stupid. Um, OCEAN. Open, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeable, and neuroticism. I bet that this positively correlates with levels development. I bet that this positively correlates. Extroversion, neutral. I would say that probably doesn't have a strong relationship. Agreeable, I would say negative. And neurotic, that's interesting. Wild card. If you're very neurotic, would you go up levels? Okay. High neurotic and high conscientious is probably the best way to move up levels. If you have high and high, I would say that that's a 10 of 10 combo for moving up levels because everything bothers you and you want to figure everything out. That seems like the best combination. That was a great question. That one kept me on my toes. I like the ones that I've never thought about. Um, and then high openness as well. Like if you had high neuroticism and high conscientiousness but low openness, I think that would be worse. Um, but independently, like if it's high neuroticism and low conscientiousness and low openness, then I would say that neuroticism would not help you move up levels. But I think that the negative feelings in conjunction with the do it yourself attitude and the willingness to try things is definitely how you go up. And I would say lower agreeableness is also how you go up. Um, Agreeableness is something that tends to get you stuck in the. Um, it just occurred to me I'm actually describing my score here. That's funny. Is I have high, 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 low, and then low. I just drew out my own score. That's funny. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if you're very agreeable, then you tend to, go along, go with the flow, don't rock the boat, and that means that you're not going to be challenging anything. You're not going to challenge your own ideas. You're not going to challenge the way that you view the world. So very high agreeableness would be like anytime there's a problem, it's just like, okay, do it your way. I won't learn anything. I'll be very passive. And that would make sense that, women are lower in levels than men. On the Kohlberg, is it Kohlberg? I think so. He's got his 6 stages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um, Women tend to stop in the third one, and men tend to stop in the fourth one. And this is good girl, which is what you see with the liberals. Look at me. I'm doing the thing that everyone says is good, and so I am good. The TV said it was good, and I'm doing it, so I'm good. And then men tend to stop in law and order, which is, there are rules. You got to do things the right way. You got to do what you got to do. So yeah, that I feel fairly confident that I just figured that out. Great question. Oh, Bob's your uncle. I already got him. George Hale says NPD and BPD don't attract one another, but NPD are good at finding easier to control people, and easier to control people sometimes advertise that they are. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would say that they attract each other, but I would say that they have tumultuous relationships. Like, I don't think that you're going to spot them from across the room, but once you start um, relating to each other, I think that they fit together in ways that are very, what do you call it, codependent. I can see that. Somebody says Big Five doesn't relate to levels. Do you know that? Do you have better resources than me? I'd like to know about it. Oh, Tanvi's here. She hangs out in my chat room. Hello. Hope things are going good. I'll talk to you later. I have a chat room if you guys get the elite. Sell my memberships while I'm here. I have a Discord chat room, and I pop in, I answer questions, and I tell people that I'm hungry or tired or whatever. Another Landa Cookahonda says, have you ever tried cold approach? Yes, I have. Very few times. I don't like it. My thoughts about it are that most people don't do it skillfully. And they end up just like running up to women and going, hey, baby, can I get your number? And then the women are uncomfortable. And I think most people don't do it very well. I think that it makes women unhappy, and it puts them on guard, and it makes them feel like they're, oh God, I got to do this again every time I leave the house. Unless you're attractive and they like you. I think that if you can do it skillfully, then it's very effective. I tried it a few times when I was younger, and then very few times when I was older. Um, it worked better after I learned stuff. I was successful once only with the cold approach. It's just not my favorite way to do it. I like the bird test. I like to test the waters, see if she wants to talk, and then if she doesn't, then just be on my way rather than, selling myself. Yeah, so my thoughts are make sure you're good at it and you know what you're doing. And then he said, "Can you draw a lynx cat?" I'm not sure if I know what a lynx cat is. Isn't this probably just going to draw a bobcat? Breeny162 says, "Can you elaborate on the concept of bad people pretending to be victims to skate through life, getting others to do stuff for them? Example, parasite strategy." I mean, we're just talking about Democrats again. That's what like DEI and victim mentality and feminism are. It's all, you victimized me. History is the story of you being mean to me, and now you have to pay me. It's all the same. Uh, Elaborate on the concept. It's just people want something without doing anything. There was one time that I was there's teeth for this cat. There was one time I was riding my bike through an unfamiliar neighborhood, and somebody, there was this kid, like, I don't know, 13, 14-year-old kid who yelled out, "That's my bike. That's my bike," and ran towards me to try to take it. And it was like reflex. Like I went, there was like a tree, and the kid was behind it, and I go around it and I can see the kid and he goes, "That's my bike," like right away, and ran at me. Like as soon as he saw something he wanted, he started using his words to say that I stole it from him as he was stealing it from me. You may have seen videos of the police like brutalizing somebody who is just helpless on the ground and not moving, and they go, "Stop resisting, stop resisting." And that what it does is they're using their words to give the impression that this corpse is like dangerous, because what they want to do is hit this person. Let's draw a stick here. Clunk. Just imagine the sound effect. Poo. Um, so yeah, you have to look for people who are accusing others. They say you're the bad guy. You hurt me, because they want an excuse to hurt you. That is what all of that victim stuff is. All of the everyone enslaved me, and men are all dangerous and everything. That what that means is you're the bad guy. You already hurt me, so I get to hurt you. It's never true. They just say it so they can get away with it. Well, it's rarely true. 99% of the time, it's a lie. Okay, just gonna check the fan funding. If there are any more, I'll read them, and if not, then I'm gonna go. Okay, I am out of here. Thank you all again. Thank you all again. I'm gonna go work on a video, and I'm gonna see if I can have it published tomorrow morning. And then that's a short one, and then I've got two big long ones coming. All right. Wait, 3 unanswered questions in fan funding side? There are 3? Oh, okay, I see them. John Beige said the Military Selective Service Act only requires men to register for the draft. Can you advocate for equal treatment of women for this? I think we would have fewer wars if everyone were draftable. We're going to have as many wars as the rich and powerful people want us to have. That's not going to, war isn't going to, you can't, voting doesn't change how many wars there are. That's silly. That's War is a business, and businessmen make wars happen. If women had to register for the draft and they voted against war, we would have exactly the same number of wars. Women should not be in the military overwhelmingly. We should not have women in combat positions. They are not fit for it. It's a waste of money. They're putting themselves in danger, almost all of them, almost all the time. Uh, the standards for those things should never have been changed. They should be changed back. Everybody who can't pass them should get kicked out. The military is about, can you do the job or not? It's not about being fair. Oh, we made extra room for girls, even though they're slower and cause trouble. It's dumb. Groundman says, how to prevent women from getting the ick when you're almost certainly going to appear weak at some point. Yet, no, you're just going to. You just have to, like, find a woman who can deal with her feelings. So if she gets the ick, she doesn't just run off. You can't do it all day, every day. You can't be disgusting constantly. But yeah, like adult women are supposed to be able to say, "Oh, I hate it when you do that," and then forget about it 5 minutes later. They're supposed to be able to. So if you find a girl who can't, then that's put her back in. She's not done. Kyle Kogan says, "In my life, it's almost impossible to get with one girl." Oh, wait, I did that one. That one I did a long time ago. What's going on here? Okay. Oh, I got two more. Tomas Orteado says, "A man, I came at the last moment." Yeah, you sure did. Um, it's been a while though. Like I think I tried to start at 6 and it took me a few minutes and all my software didn't really work. Um, real use says, I have a question though. Okay. All right. You paid. Advice for 18F wanting to marry young, have kids from poor family pushing college. Can't wait to find a provider. Must earn money. Is content creation viable to skip college or too competitive? Much too competitive. The content creation, like what I'm doing, the chances that you're going to make money at it are slim. The chances that you're going to get big like I did are virtually zero. It's just not it's not a viable thing. Um, when I was driving for Uber, I gave a lift to a girl who was a content creator. She told me that she did I'm not sure if it was TikTok or Instagram or what, but she said that she did short form content about adopting uh, pets, like rescues. And she said that because she knows a lot about that, she knows a lot about this very specific topic. She was able to constantly generate, like what I do. I'm constantly generating new things. Every time I make a video, people are like, "Oh, that's great. I have never heard this before. This is a fresh take." There's plenty of things for me to say. At 18 years old, I don't know if you know anything that well. How could you possibly, like, what do you know that well that you can generate that much content with? If there is something, then you go for it, I guess. But um, obviously, I don't have the highest opinions of college. To answer your question directly, first of all, you have a very low chance of finding a man, especially when your age, who has money and wants to marry you. Like you got to understand how difficult it is to like you're saying, can't wait to find a provider. Is it okay if he's 35? Like I'm 40. Would you marry a 40-year-old guy if he was a provider? How old are you willing to go? Because you want him to be 21? Because he's not. You're not. There's no 21-year-old providers in America anymore. There's there's no jobs. Nobody can. The jobs don't buy houses. Times are different. So the first thing that I want to tell you is it's going to be very hard to find somebody like that. Very very difficult. Um, the second thing is if you want to maximize for that, if you want to find someone who is doing that, you got to know where they are. And I don't really know where they are. Like you might have to look on the internet. You might have to look through your family. You might have to have somebody connect you with someone who's doing well. Um, where do you find providers? I mean, at college, I guess, or at a business or friends of friends or something. You've got to know where they are. If you just go out to the normal places and look for a guy who's 25 who's a provider, you're I'm trying to think of a way to say it, like a metaphor for it. It's like what is a thing that's very rare? It's like, I guess, needle in a haystack is as close as I'm gonna get. You're looking for something that there might be a few of, but if that guy does exist, like a young, attractive guy who can provide and wants to, and wants to settle down, that we just live in times where he's going to sleep around till he's 35. So, um, use my situationship evasion chart. Use that because it just gives you a clear outline of the way things used to be, and then the way things are now, and the bad choices, and then the good choices. So you've got to find a guy who says that he wants that kind of relationship, and then you have to make him prove it and not just take his word for it. VB Legend, subscribed. That's good. A lot of people are doing the $1 one. Before long, everyone who wants to see lives will be subscribed, and then we won't have to do any um, public lives for a long time. Mr. Speaker says women can date multiple men to have their pick. Most, yeah. If men date various women to find his best fit, he's a player. Yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, you're wrong about that. Because if women date multiple men, people don't like that either. If men date various women, people don't like that. They go, "Oh, you're a player." But if the woman does it, like people are not like happy about that either. I explained this to a male friend. He said it's wrong and unfair to the women enforcing the trope. Um, AITAO. Is that am I the I forgot if I can swear on YouTube. I probably swore 7 times in this session. Is that am I the asshole? No, it's him. Um, Dating multiple people at a time is like questionably moral. It's something that we just do that people just accept. Uh, but women will get mad at men for doing it, and men will get mad at women for doing it. There's no like it's okay for one and not the other. That's it. Just makes everyone upset. Cosmo Shinobi became a member. Hello. I am about to leave, but you will now get notifications for the next members live, which will be next week. All right, I'm going to bed. Good to see you all. Is this the fan funding? Yeah, it is. Advice for 18F. Women can date multiple men. Make sure I got them all. All right. Okay. Video dropping maybe tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, definitely the next day. All right. Good night.